it just felt so, it was such a beautiful group. Each day it like amplified. It was kind of like learning how to live with people again. One student, she kind of says to me after a few days, she's like, "You were running energy to us before, weren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone had a good experience and got here safely because I knew there was a lot of people traveling." She's like, "Yeah, I felt that as we were driving, that we were being guided."
And I'd like to put some testimonials. I saw you sent me a short video with some testimonials. I'd like to put at the end of this video some testimonials, people sharing their experiences there. I have a question for you, Thea.
Yes.
All the Quantum Touch seminars, workshops I participated, I attended, were amazing during the weekend. So I'm curious to know about 1 week of workshops. How was that experience?
So it was amazing on so many levels. Like, so going for 5 days, you're going to be put almost in this like microclimate, if you will, of connected people. So I noticed even the morning before I left, the Wednesday morning, you start to feel that like energy coming. So I quickly sent a message out to everybody and I was like, we're already starting to entrain to the energy. So whatever you're feeling, it's coming up to be healed. So don't play into the story of it. Don't get in a fight with your spouse, right? Whatever is coming up, it's coming up to be healed. So just breathe through it and we'll talk about it at the workshop. And I started running the energy right before I even left, right? I was going to be traveling 4 hours. Everyone else was going to be traveling some sort of a distance. We had one gentleman travel 15 hours by car. So just that everyone would arrive safely, right?
Yeah.
And being together for that long, it was like even that first night, it just felt so, it was such a beautiful group. And then each day it like amplified. It was kind of like learning how to live with people again and be that connected. And I think it amplifies this work because one of the things I love about the energy work we do is you can't fake it.
Yes.
You have to be honest because it comes across in your energy, whether you want to express it verbally or not. The people around you can sense it. And when everyone's starting to learn how to sense energy, you can't fake it.
Yes.
So it's like this way of like gently calling each other out on what we've been holding on to and denying. But then it created this really safe place to just let it go, right? To own that part of us, to love that part of us, and then just let it go. Because you're now face to face with these people. Like
Yes.
we're living in the same area, we're eating our meals together. It was even a shared washroom. So we're together and it was so beautiful.
Yes, for 5 days, right? 5 days? And
Yeah.
how many people were there?
So in total, including Mayumi and I believe it was 21. We had 4 students who were virtual, and then we had some students that would commute. So not everyone spent every night. So I think those of us who stayed at the lodge, including the campers, was I think 12.
You told me in a conversation before the workshops that you would be planning some activities in between. So what were the activities?
So I had so many activities in my mind, and then I had to remind myself we didn't have the time for it. So the workshops take a lot of time. A lot of the workshops can feel intense in the way of like life transformation, like paradigm shifting ideas. So we still wanted to leave time in the evenings for people to integrate into the work. So I wanted to add in watercolors and working with the colors and the vibration of colors. But we ran out, not that we ran out of time. We wanted to make space just to be together and to integrate. So what we ended up doing when I arrived on the Wednesday, I hadn't been to this place before. So I got a little tour of the property because it was a 58-acre property. So the owner, she took me out on a little golf cart and we kind of strolled around, and I got to meet some of the staff members, and they were curious as to what we were doing. So I started explaining it. I just kind of like looked at them and I was like, you know what, maybe we can have some practice sessions. And if you're interested, you could be a receiver of the energy, because we have all these students coming. We're going to be here in the evenings and we have all the massage tables. I was like, we could just create a sign-up sheet and then staff could come in and our students could practice running the energy on somebody new to this work. So that's what we did. So I believe it was 2 of the nights. We had a sign-up sheet. We had some staff come in. And it was a really good confidence boost for the students, because some of them were eager to try. Some of them were hesitant because they didn't feel like they were good enough, or they could feel the energy enough, or they doubted it. So giving them that kind of friendly push to start practicing and using it on somebody new, it was so beautiful. We had one lady, she was completely new to energy work. She really doubted her abilities. And she had the most beautiful session on one of the staff members. And the staff member like jumps off the bed and so excited that her ankle feels so much better. She literally jumped off the bed, and all of us kind of like look over like, whoa, what's going on? And then she like runs out because she's just so excited that her ankle feels good. And then the student that was practicing just like let out a scream of excitement, because she's like, oh my gosh, I did it. And it was just, everyone kind of like cheered her on in that moment. So it was really cool. Like the camaraderie that was developed was really cool.
Yes, and this idea of including the staff, like a present to them, right? Very nice. Because I believe you're going to do this again, right? Because, well, the first time we're doing this project together, like 21 people or 19 people, whatever it is, a success. It is a huge success.
Yeah.
So if you go there again, you'll be very welcome, because
yes. Yeah, we were all kind of first name basis with the staff by the time we had left. So it was a great facility. It definitely worked really well. We are talking about doing it again. So I do hope to expand on this, because it was a wonderful opportunity. And now that this is the first time I put on an event like this in general, right? So there's just so many moving parts. And I think part of me, even though I'm running energy into all of it and that it all goes smoothly, it was just like, it was almost like I was holding my breath, because I wanted to make sure it was as beautiful as I imagined it to be. And it felt like a lot, but now that I did it, I was like, oh, I did it. Okay. We could do it again, right? Or we could make it bigger. So we're talking. We'll see what comes up.
But do you have any idea, even a vague idea, like for the end of the year, for next year?
I think the end of this year might be too quick, but I'm thinking maybe March, it would be nice to do it again and then invite a supercharging instructor. Maybe if I can find somewhere a little closer to Ottawa.
Oh,
so
yes.
I don't have to do a 4-hour drive myself. But I mean, I was surprised. There was a lot of people who drove a good distance.
So were these people coming from the US or Canada?
We had 4 people, including Mayumi, come from the United States. So we had a lady from North Carolina. We had a gentleman who drove from Iowa and from Buffalo.
Okay.
And then we had 4 from kind of the Ottawa, Quebec area that drove too. So they would have driven about a 4-hour.
Okay, so it could be close to Ottawa next time.
There was a lot of people that like went to that spot. So I think maybe if I could find somewhere a little closer to Ottawa, that would be nice, as well as, supercharging. Although Mayumi definitely wants to come back again. So I think we'll kind of like copy and paste this retreat, make it a little bigger next summer, and Mayumi will come back for that. But it really ignited the beauty of the in-person workshop.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I can find some place in Ottawa and I can start doing in-person again, even if just like a level 1 on a weekend would just be so lovely to gather in person.
What were the kind of feedbacks you had from the students?
I think everyone was kind of blown away. It was a lot of fun. Right from the beginning, one student, she kind of says to me after a few days, she's like, "You were running energy to us before, weren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone had a good experience and got here safely because I knew there was a lot of people traveling." She's like, "Yeah, I felt that as we were driving, that we were being guided."
Oh, that's a very interesting feedback.
There was, okay, so this I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
As an instructor, I kind of went, I went into this as, I'm the instructor, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you this work. And I was humbled so beautifully, because when you put all these people together, everyone has different skills and abilities and talents. And some people are so naturally gifted and they do this work with such confidence. I was blown away. And to be in their presence, the resonance of that was beautiful. I learned so much in myself on how to share this work, I learned how to receive energy. That was another thing. I'm coming in as like, I'm the one who put this on, right? I'm going to share this with all of you. And by the end of day 2, I had completely lost my voice. And the students were like, "No, we're going to send energy to you." I had to receive it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So
And why did you lost your voice? What happened?
I think it was, I always like to go deeper with the emotions. Coming into this time, I felt a lot of, and like in my chest too, a lot of grief and a lot of sadness is coming up. From when I had lost my brother, from the miscarriages, all of that I wasn't able to feel before, that was all coming up. And now we're just together for 5 days of energy. So it really amplified. Plus, I think I was losing part of that kind of like commanding egoic voice, right? I don't need to project it in that way. So it was almost, it felt like I was losing that voice and kind of reclaiming a voice of honesty and integrity and authenticity, which was really beautiful.
Yes.
Mhm.
What kind of insights, like you told me this feedback, someone asked you if you were running energy, this is extraordinary. Like, right, the person asking, were you sending energy before? So any insight from the students during the workshop or after?
They all had beautiful stories of, we had one lady and she had no awareness to energy or healthcare background, or even like her business isn't even health related. And she kept saying she wasn't sure if she could do this, or she couldn't see, she didn't understand what people were seeing. And then by the time we got to level 2, she was seeing visualizations as she was running the energy. And as she talked about it, we're all just like amazed that she is just so confidently talking about what she was able to perceive when she was running the energy. We had another lady who, she said it was the breath work. The breath work was really challenging, right? It's a constant, consistent breath, the breathing. It can feel like a lot, and it can bring up a lot if you're not used to it. And I know the first 2 days were really challenging for her. She wasn't sure if she was going to come back for level 2. She decided not to. She needed to rest her body. And then she said in those next couple of days, just allowing herself to listen to her body and rest her body, it was like she was awakened and she could do the breath work. And then she got it.
Yeah. Yes, it is hard for even for some very experienced practitioners, instructors. It is not easy in the beginning. And how was work with Mayumi? You had a very good expectation. How was this?
It was so fun. We complimented each other really well, because she came in and she has her Japanese personality, and which was really good because she kept us on time, because it's so easy to go off on a tangent or have a conversation or want to work in one area longer than the other. And she kept us to a schedule, which was really good. And we had to stay on time because we had some virtual people joining us. So we had to respect their time boundaries because they were stricter than ours, right? If we're we could just finish this conversation after supper, but we need to get through the curriculum while we're working. So it worked really well. She taught energy boost. I taught level 1, and then she taught level 2. And then it was really nice having another instructor, even just to give feedback on level 1, because I had taken my classes, but everyone kind of has their own flavor or flair to it. So hearing her comments with level 1, or the way she explains it, just really helped to amplify what I was explaining. So that worked really well. Plus, once you get a group of that size, it helps to have more than one instructor, especially when it comes to the practice time, so that you have more than one-on-one. And we actually had another instructor that was with us as well, so she helped with the practice time as well. So with the level 1, I was focused on the virtual people during the practice time. Mayumi and our other instructor, they were able to guide the in-person people.
Oh, that's very where we're
which was really helpful. And then there was just so many, like, I want to call them miracles. They were like little miracles. Like, I totally forgot that we need massage tables for the in-person, because most of my work is virtual. So it didn't occur to me that I need to bring my massage table. One of the students brought it up, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have no idea where I'm going to get massage tables from. And she's like, well, I have one. And I was like, awesome. Okay, you bring yours, I'll bring mine. And then we'll have 2 tables, that'll work. And people can just use chairs, and they'll just get used to the versatility of quantum touch, because you don't need a formal room for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent out an email a couple days before, just being like, hey, if anyone by chance has access to a massage table, bring it. We can use it for practice time. If not, not a problem. Well, we ended up getting 6 massage tables.
Oh, really?
So everyone was able to practice and like totally relax onto the table when they were receiving the energy.
Yeah.
So I think we were only 1 table short in terms of practice sessions that everyone got one. But then we just used the couch, or they used the chair.
And what about the weather, the outdoors activities? How did that work?
So the weather was pretty good. There was one night when it had rained, but our tenters did well. They didn't seem to complain. They were able to handle that. It wasn't like a hard rain. And then we had some like misting rain throughout the week, but otherwise the weather was beautiful. We had a really gorgeous sunset on the one evening. On the last night we were together, we did a campfire. So that was kind of fun. The wood was a little wet, so we had to try to figure it out. We were trying to like dry it, but it all worked out really well.
And what about during the day, the workshops? I think you had to be inside because the hybrid mode, right?
Yes. So because we had to stick with technology and we needed the internet for our virtual students, we did stay inside, and that felt well. That felt good. There was like a really nice area in the main space where we could all sit in a circle, and there was enough room for everyone. And that was very comfortable, because even on the Wednesday night, I really wanted to do the energy boost outside, but everyone kind of arrived on the Wednesday night. Everyone started chatting. Everyone was gathered in that main room. And then it was like, we'll just stay here because everyone's here and comfortable. So we quickly got the chairs out and we stayed there. And then people would step outside on break or at lunch to eat lunch outside or go for a walk.
Yeah. So what about the animals in the farm?
Yes, there was a couple donkeys, bunnies, chickens, and a rooster.
And did you have any practice with them?
We didn't do any formal sessions, but students went down and they would run energy into the animals, and they said they received it well. Yeah,
this is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I told you the other occasion, in the other interview, that this should be like part of the culture of Quantum Touch to do these workshops in the nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this place in Ottawa, if you find a place close to Ottawa like this one, that would be amazing, right? Not downtown, but a place like this.
I need some place, with some outdoor nature where there's some sort of lodging nearby so people can just stay together. That would be nice. So I'll start looking for something, because I would love to host something a little closer to home. It would make it more accessible.
Yeah,
so do it more often.
Imagine becoming more workshop with Richard Gordon. This is something that I did the interview. You also, and this is something very very different from everything else. Imagine something like that in the nature.
Yeah, so I interviewed Richard on the Monday before the retreat, and I wanted to interview him kind of like to entrain to his energy going into this workshop so that I just could carry that energy. But I felt like I mean, I haven't done Becoming More, but just from what I talked to Richard about, I feel like I was starting to get that in this workshop, because like I had said, there was other people with beautiful skills and talents and backgrounds, and I learned so much from them. And just being in their presence, seeing the way that they, like the nuances of how they carry themselves and the way they work, I learned so much. So we really can entrain to other people. And then I had one of the students, he asked about, can I run energy into music? And I was like, absolutely, that's what Gustavo does.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you could probably entrain to Gustavo and start running the energy into the music. So then when I put together some of the pictures and videos that we had taken, so it's just going to be a short YouTube video so people get a glimpse of what it was. And he's going to put music to it. And he said that as I sent that, the idea came to him of how he wants to play the music. I was like, of course.
Yes, it's amazing to do this with music. There's always a feedback when I have people coming here. When I go to friends who have a piano at home, I play some relaxing music, right? Short music, and they have no words, and something stays in the air. It is different. There is a practitioner from UK. We are trying to plan an interview, and she's a professional who played for the Queen, and she says the music, the sounds, makes it to be more connected, even more connected, anything else, So hopefully soon there will be an interview with her and we'll be sharing experiences. Very nice.
That would be beautiful.
Yes. So you said the next one, you think now it'll be like for March 2024, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd like to put some testimonials. I saw you sent me a short video with some testimonials. I'd like to put at the end of this video some testimonials of people sharing their experiences there. Is there anything else you'd like to say in summary about these experiences? I think it was above your expectation, right?
It was. And even so, I'll share this one story because it just kind of like sums up how the rest of the week went. So I arrived first. Two of our students arrived. They told me that they were 20 minutes from the retreat center and they got turned around and lost, but some kind gentleman noticed them and drove them the 20 minutes. So drove in front of them so that they could follow, so that they could get to the retreat center. So they were just so grateful that this gentleman would drive 20 minutes out of his way just to make sure that they got to the retreat center. So I got to meet them. Awesome. They were getting settled. No, they were grabbing something from their vehicle. They were back outside. Mayumi and another student arrived. The owner gave us a tour of the lodging. So we go see where we're going to be sleeping. It's beautiful. Bathrooms are beautiful. We come back and some comment was made that both of them had traveled from the States. And the owner goes, "Oh, you're from the States. Does that mean I need to buy you butter tarts?" And then they're like, "What are butter tarts?" She's like, "Well, Americans don't seem to know about butter tarts, but they're fabulous." And she goes on to describe butter tarts. And I'm just like, I didn't realize that was a Canadian thing and Americans didn't know. Like, I didn't know that was a thing that they wouldn't know, but they didn't. And so I was giving my opinion on what my favorite kind of butter tart would be. So it was like this conversation about butter tarts. And then the owner goes, "Okay, I will go out and I will get, you guys need to have butter tarts." So she leaves. Mayumi and I and the student go back into the kitchen and there's butter tarts. And we're like, "Oh, who brought the butter tarts?" Because they didn't come from the owner, because the owner had just left. Then we realized that the butter tarts had come from those first two students that got turned around, because where they got turned around happened to be some sort of store with butter tarts. And they were like, "Oh, we should buy these. So it was just so random, but the timing, like all of it, the fact that they got turned around in the first place, they found the butter tarts, this guy drives them back. Then we had the conversation about the butter tarts, so random. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they appeared in the kitchen. But like, that was our week. Like stuff like that happened all the time. It's like someone said something, something random happened, and then all of a sudden something else happened and it was all connected. And like, you can't make this stuff up.
Yes.
So it was really cool.
Yes. Yes. Very happy to know all of that, because we had no idea how this would be. We knew this would be good, but it was excellent.
Mhm.
Yes. I hope you do more and more of
Mhm.
this, and I hope one day to participate and perhaps play the piano to people to
Yes.
run while running energy. So I'd like to show some images of this place. I'll get part of that video you sent me to show the activities, people, and how things were there.
Mhm.
All right, thank you so much, Thea, and I hope
Welcome.
to have sharing all of these experiences more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
It was a really cool experience. We learned a lot of different techniques and got to run energy on each other. And the awesome part of it is that you feel the results immediately. You feel the energy coming out of yourself, other people sending it into you, and so it's a really awesome experience.
This is an amazing class. It's level 1 quantum touch. I am amazed. The instructor are beautiful, beautiful soul. It was really structured and we learn in a timely manner. Beautiful experience. We all work as a team and it's awesome. Location is awesome as well. Thank you.
Well, this has been an incredible experience. I feel lighter. I feel even, I'm normally a joyful person, but it's just exuding from me. And I feel such an alignment. It's incredible. And the camaraderie here, the beautiful souls that you get to connect with, it's just an amazing experience. Thank you so much.